On behalf of your host, Steve D, this is Bruce Buffer saying thank you for tuning in to Xtreme Lyfe. And now, this is the moment Xtreme Lyfe fans around the world have been waiting for. It's time!
Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. You know, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a little while.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's been a minute. So real exciting time. I mean, we had a really weird year where everything kind of went wacky. But it looks like some things are starting to come back online. CrossFit Games are starting to look like they're going to start going back to, a couple of cool things happen here. It's sold to a new owner who seems to be trying to rebrand and revitalize a lot, and a lot of like old is new again kind of stuff going on that I'm seeing. I don't know. What do you think?
No, I think I felt that same thing, trying to bring the old feels of what it was before and just trying to give it a fresh start, I guess.
Yeah. And it's basically, you know, what you have is, you know, the season looks like it's, instead of 5 weeks of open, we're going to have 3 weeks of open now, which is interesting. I don't know what that really looks like. Dave Castro is going to be doing the announcements again, which I think is, it used to be one of my favorite things is to watch, here when, Evil Dave kind of came out and did his did his thing and that went away.
I've never thought I would miss that, but it did. It made it exciting, and I love like all those little things put together made the whole thing so fun.
Yeah, and it's like I said, I think we're coming back to that. And then they got the quarterfinals and semifinals. The semifinals kind of feel like almost like the old regionals, which is pretty cool. And then they have like a last chance qualifier, which is interesting too. So it's a whole new structure kind of, but
yeah, honestly, I feel like I still don't really understand it that well yet.
Me neither. So
I'm not going to lie. Like, I don't have time to go read like 100-page rule book to figure it all out, which I need to make time, but I'm building a house right now. I think I might've told you that before.
No, I don't know. Yeah. I don't remember if you did. I don't recall. I apologize for that. But yeah, so you're building a house.
I'm building a house, and it has been taking so much of my energy and time, let alone like taking care of my 2 kids. And I'm like, I still need to sign up for the Open.
You didn't even sign up yet? What, are you kidding me? I was excited. I was excited the other night when we were texting back and forth, and you said you were going to be signing up. You were going to compete again, because I was like, you had a couple of years where you haven't. And, I think the last time was 18, right? Was it 2018?
Yeah.
Is that correct? Yeah. So 2018. Yeah. Just for anybody who doesn't know, anyone who watches CrossFit or knows CrossFit should know who you are. You are a 3 times CrossFit Games competitor, individual athlete, 11th place in 2013, 6th place in 2017, 12th place in 2018, 5-time regional qualifier. You were the fittest woman in America. I think it was 18? Was that 18?
17.
17. So, that's quite a resume. And then you took a couple years where you kind of just, you had a family, you started a family, you got that stuff going in your life, what you needed to do. Right. And then, and now you're kind of like, okay. And I was actually surprised when you said, yeah, I'm competing this year. I was like, oh, okay.
Whoa. I didn't technically say I was competing this year. I said I was going to do the Open this year.
All right. So maybe I'm jumping the gun. I'm jumping the gun a little bit.
Yeah.
But
I guess the distinction for that for me is like when I'm competing, like I have a coach and I'm dedicated to that goal, and I have like multiple workout sessions a day, and and I'm not like doing that right now. So I feel like I can't really call it competing.
All right. No, fair enough. It's not what you're used to. But, you know, I mean, how do you feel right now? I mean, how do you feel coming into this? I mean, it's a whole different kind of world in the open and with stuff going on. So, you know, and for you, I mean, to not do the routine that you're normally used to, what are your expectations, or do you have any, or do you kind of just, you know, just kind of playing it by ear this year?
I have mixed feelings about it, I guess.
Okay.
It's hard because, you know, I feel like I can't expect the world from myself right now, because it's hard for me not to hold myself to like a certain standard. But I also haven't been putting in the multiple hours per day. You know, I'm not doing the work that I was doing before to get the result that I was getting before. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like I'm just going to go in and just try to look at it as this is where I'm at right now. I'm just going to do these workouts to the best of my ability and try to have fun, but like,
I know where you're going already.
I can't like, when I'm not like doing really good, or I'm not at my best, or like, I'm not like where I was, like if I like, it sucks to go backwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get it.
Like 100%. You always want to be like getting better and better, but I don't know. All I know is that I'm going to just go in, do the workouts really hard and be able to feel good about it, because I know I pushed myself as hard as I can right now.
Yeah.
So
I think that's where you need to be. I mean, you know, and I get I get what you're saying. You know, I know that you are a competitor by nature. I mean, I think you're just a super competitive athlete. And to go in and kind of be like, okay, I'm going to just see where this goes. This, you know, it's kind of like, okay, you know, for you, I don't know if that's, that's quite where you want to be, but
yeah, no, that's hard for me.
Yeah, no,
it's hard for me to just be like, yeah, I'm just doing this for fun, because, you know, I don't like to go super hard and stuff just for fun. Like I like to do things for purpose, and I like to win. So I don't know. I debated on if I should even do it, because I didn't want to like get pissed if I don't do as well as I want to do. Because, you know, then what? I'm going to be like, well, screw that. Now I have to like get a coach and train really hard and make it to the games again. And
well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we talked about, I think on the last time you came on the show, you know, we talked a little bit about that and, you know, getting back to the games and what does that look like as you know, like I said, you have, you know, I think you have your family together, but you're building a house, which you got that distraction going on. I think, you know, when you're training for the games and you're trying to get there, it's one of those things where you got to try to really just focus on that as much as possible. I mean, that's probably part of the reason why Matt Frazier said I'm done this year, because, you know, it's just so hard to get to that level.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like when you're super competitive, like mediocre and doing just okay isn't really like, that's not fun for those people. For me,
yeah,
you know, you like to throw your whole self into it and be, you know, the best you can. And I know that I need to try to be nice to myself this year, because I've like put my energy into building this house, you know, coming back from having Boston. And I mean, I go to the gym and I do one CrossFit class probably 5 days a week.
Okay.
All right. And then I run like 2 miles, like 4 or 5 times a week.
Okay.
But like, that is like nothing compared to like the hours I put in before. And, you know, you can't expect, like I said, you can't expect more from something that you haven't put all your energy to. So
no, I get it. But I look at it this way. Here's how I'm looking at it, Tennil, and you can tell me if this is just out of my mind or not. I just look at it as like you're really well rested and you're going to do phenomenal. That's kind of how I try to look at it.
Okay, here's the thing though. If I had super high volume and took a couple months off, then yeah, I would be super well rested. But I've taken 2 years off. Okay.
Something just happened to your audio on your up there.
Sure. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you better now. Something happened over there. You were real muffled.
Weird. All right. No, I was saying that. Whoa. I was saying that. Well rested, I wouldn't say is the state I'm in.
Okay.
Because I told you all the stress that I've been putting myself with this house and everything. But I mean, I don't know. I think the Open will be okay. I never really saw the Open as like something that was super challenging because just one workout, once a week. That's pretty. Yeah.
But see that it's a CrossFit Games competitor who's going to look at it that way, right? Because you and I had talked before, and when you and I first met, you were training at OPEX. I mean, that's where we met, and you were you were training. Everybody at OPEX was doing probably 3, 4, 5 workouts a day plus strength training and everything else, and when it was kind of funny, we talked and you're like, yeah, because we talked about what it would be like coming into what do you prep for when you're coming into the Open workout? You're getting ready to do your workout. This is the official workout. And you're just like, just another workout in my day.
Yeah, no, it was. It was because that's the thing. My coach had my volume up so high that the Open was just another workout in the day. I mean, he would give me special exercises to help warm up for it, but I wasn't taking a couple of days off before the workout or anything like that.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of other people who are trying, the what I call the earthlings, the humans out there who are trying to, they're like, oh man, I got to rest up. It's 5 rounds of 30 box jumps and 20 wall ball or something like that for time. And you're just like, whatever. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's just another workout.
It's funny because I feel like when I take rest days, the day I come back is always so much more sluggish. Like it's almost like harder, I think. I don't know. I like to stay active and keep my body loose and feeling ready. So I liked the way I did the Open before.
No, what worked for you? I mean, I can't argue with it. I mean, you can't argue with your credentials. It certainly, it's definitely worked for you where, it may not work for everybody. And I get what you're saying, because I'm one of those people too, where I have to, if I don't work out, like yesterday was my day off of workout. And I was just like, I just didn't even feel right. I was like, it just doesn't feel good to me to not. And I know I needed it today. I know I really needed it because I was doing a lot of volume prior to that. And I was like, you know what? I got to force myself to take a day. It's Sunday. Why not take a day off? So I did. And, like I said, and I got to go after this, I got to go do my workout today. And I'm kind of like, okay, and I feel real tight. I think if I work out every day, I don't feel as tight.
No, for sure.
You'd think it'd be the opposite, but it's not.
No, you feel tight. And I think because your muscles are trying to recover, and they're building back together.
Yeah.
And you feel tight. And I even feel like sleepy after a recovery day almost.
Yeah.
Like
it's hard
almost
to get
like I want to take another recovery day because I just want to it's almost like it took a day and a half for my body to get into like the rest and recovery phase. And now it's ready to like really recover.
Yeah. Now you need another day. And then, the thing I worry about, and I always I guess I'm just a little crazy, but it's one of those things where it's like, if I take a day, I'm like, okay, I got to get back into it. Even though I don't feel like it, I get back into it. But if I take another day, I almost feel like, okay, now I'm just a lazy bastard.
Oh, yeah. No, as much as I would like to take 2 days in a row, I can never take 2 days in a row. I would be like ashamed of myself. I'd be like, really? not like in a bad way, but just like, come on, Tennil, like, did you really need that? Probably not.
Well, I think that's the mindset, though, of somebody who's fitness minded, who's somebody who's a competitive athlete. I mean, you've been a competitive athlete for a long time. I don't know if that is that my dog or your dog?
Not mine.
That's probably one of mine. Anyway, you know, you've been a super competitive athlete your entire life, and it's hard to get yourself out of that phase, right? And you know, and not that you even want to, but it's like, you know, sometimes life happens and you got to kind of do other things. And then, you know, here you go, you're going to go do the Open, and for better or worse, whatever that's going to be. And you know, you're going to see where you're at. I mean, that's the one thing I always liked about the Open, whether I did okay or not okay, or how I felt, is it's a good scale for yourself. You know, to kind of see, okay, what do I need to work on?
Yeah, no, for sure. The thing is, I feel like I already know I know all the things that I'm not at my top point right now. You know, like I know what, like if things come up in the Open, like I already know, like, crap, that's not what I want to see. You know, like I'm excited to do the Open, but I know the holes that I have right now. And I just hoping the Open always seems to just throw them right in your face.
Yeah.
You know,
it tends to get to you where you're like, you know, oh man, what would be something you don't want to see? What would be something like right now, without giving up too much, just what would be something that you'd be like, oh no.
I mean, do I even want to say that? Because if I say it, it's going to happen.
Dave Castro might be listening. Who knows?
Seriously, I don't think it's a good idea if I bring those up.
All right. You don't want to jinx yourself on it. I get it. I mean, you know, like I said, it's one of those things where I think everybody coming into the Open, you're like, oh God, I hope this doesn't come up, or I hope that doesn't come up. And, you know, if it does, now I'm sure, let me just ask you this. I'll change it to a little bit different. In the past, when you've competed in the Open, has there been, or in any, you know, in your time in the games or whatever, you know, experience it was, what is a particular workout that came up, that got drawn out, that you were like, oh no?
Oh, there was this one where at the games where we had to do double unders and thrusters. I think it was like pounds something, and probably like 30 and 30 or no, 10 rounds of like 10 and then 30 double, something like that. But I just remember thinking, oh great, a bunch of double unders, and those were hurting me at the time because my knee was like hurting. And for some reason, thrusters, like a lot of the girls are shorter than me.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a disadvantage on that too. And the same with the rope.
Yep.
And man, I don't know. I just knew that was going to be rough, and it was rough. Like I was dying by the end of it. And I was pretty sure I was like second to last to be done in that heat. And I just remember being like, never, I don't want to do that again, ever.
That didn't go well, right?
Oh,
well,
remember, it was an Open workout, but at the games, they did it heavier.
It might have. Yeah, I think you know what? You're right. Was it thrusters or snatches? It was thrusters, right?
It was thrusters.
Okay. Because I remember 30 double unders in one of the Open years and snatches.
There was a thruster double under workout. And because instead of doing thrusters and rowing, or thrusters and pull-ups, or thrusters, and you know how he always makes the last week something with thrusters? Oh
yeah. And I'll just go on the record by saying I hate thrusters. I hate them. They're not my favorite thing in the world at all.
I definitely didn't like that combo. It was kind of like one of those ones where you feel like your lungs are just burning.
Yeah.
Fran
lung.
Fire.
Got yourself some Fran lung here. But
definitely had Fran lung.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I'd much rather go heavy than I would rather, for some reason, workouts with heavier weight for me, I tend to pace a lot better.
Yeah, but unfortunately, this weight was like a weight where like it was heavy, but not heavy enough to where everyone needed to break it up. It was just like heavy to the point where you still had to do it unbroken, but it just sucked a lot more.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, you got your heart rate up with the double unders, and then you're, of course, we know thrusters does not help your heart rate at all.
No.
So, but so what is so you're doing like one workout? You said you're kind of working into it. Are you gonna like coming into this week? Are you gonna do anything special, or are you just gonna kind of keep going in the mode you're in and just see where it goes? Or are you gonna start maybe doing some repeats of some old workouts, kind of see where you stand? Do you think that's good for you or bad for you? Because if you do well, it's going to psych you out. You're going to be like, okay, I'm ready to go. But if you don't do so well in some of them old workouts and don't do as well as you used to, you might kind of psych yourself the other way. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, probably a couple of months ago, I did a repeat of an open workout that I did 2017, I think. Anyways, I didn't get as good of a score as I did that year. and the thing is, I didn't get as good, but I did decently good. Mm-hmm. And I was surprised that I did that good compared to where I thought I would be right now. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, get it.
I felt like putting 5 hours in a day versus 1 hour a day, my score doesn't compute to that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get it. It's like all the work I'm putting in before, all the stuff I did to get there. And I only my margin of difference was not as big as I thought it would be. Right. Is that kind of, okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. So I wasn't like upset that I didn't do as good. I was more like, wow, that's good. I'm glad that I'm not like as far off as I thought I might be. And depending on the workout that comes up, like I might do really good, or it might be something I don't really work on anymore, and that would be sucky. But I don't know. I'm trying not to have any expectations for myself and just do my hardest, and that's all that matters.
Well, one thing I'll tell you, Tennil, I mean, as good as you are at fitness and the sport of fitness, I just think that, and here's my thoughts on why you still did pretty good in that workout, and the margin of difference wasn't that much, is, you're still a great athlete. It's just, you're not putting in the work you used to put in. So it's a little lower, but it's still probably better than most. So, in my opinion, I'm not upset with where my fitness is right now. Like I push myself really hard just in my normal everyday workout. And I feel like in one workout, I feel like my capacity is really good. Now, do I have volume built up to do a games weekend? No, I would freaking die. But you would die a glorious death.
A glorious death. In a huge flame. It would be amazing.
You'd go out in a blaze of glory.
But I mean, do I have good capacity to do one workout like decently well right now? Yeah. I mean, and then I have a week to rest. So I'm pretty sure like that's not going to be that terrible, but just volume wise is what I'm saying.
Yeah. And so let me ask you this real quick. And I know you got to go in a few minutes, so I'll wrap it up shortly, but so say you get it, say you go, let's just put it in perspective here. And I'm going to go dreamy on you here, say you do well in the open. Let's say you do really well in the open and you qualify.
Okay.
What happens then?
Well, then I guess I do the next step.
Okay.
Which is, what is the next step? It's semifinals?
I don't know. Let me look. The next step would be the individual quarterfinals, which are basically online again.
Okay, well then that's basically just an extension of the Open. So that's going to be basically the same thing. But what's after that?
After that comes the semifinal. So that's when shit gets real.
Okay, so is that in person now?
That's where it goes in person. They're going to do similar to what the regionals were. It looks like it's similar to when they did this. Remember they did the super regionals before they got rid of the regionals altogether?
Yeah.
It looks like that's what these semifinals are, because they're only doing 4 of them worldwide. And
okay, so how much time do I have between the quarterfinal to the semifinal?
All right, quarterfinals. Let's see, individual quarterfinals, local gym. It says online happen April 5th, and then the semifinals start. Now this is week 1, so remember, I don't know what week you're going to be in. So this, and that's all in the week. It's from May 24th. The first one starts to June 14th is the last one.
Okay, so like I have between 4 and 6 weeks between those.
Yes. Yep. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. So enough time to call your coach up.
Hey, yeah.
Call up Mike. Right.
Qualified. Do you think you could coach me and get me ready in 6 weeks?
Sounds reasonable. What do you think?
He'll be like, sure. No,
yeah, I'm sure he would.
Honestly, I wish I still had my coach. He quit. Remember, we talked about this.
Oh, yeah. He left. That's right.
I actually need a new coach. So if you have any suggestions, you could like email those over to me.
I could, but you're still in Scottsdale, right? So
yeah, I am.
So that's a long way. But yeah, I mean, if I hear of anybody absolutely out there, because you probably want somebody close to you, or I mean, actually don't even have to be, because you know what? I think you're one of those athletes that's, you don't need a coach standing on top of you. You just need someone to give you the program.
Yes, exactly.
That's what it is. How about Hinshaw?
No. Isn't he mostly just like running and stuff?
He's endurance. I mean, it depends on what you would, I would think your skill set's probably there.
I kind of like to have a coach that like does everything. I don't like to have like one coach for this, one coach for that, one coach for this.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I think it's confusing putting together.
Yeah. I don't know if you know, here's an interesting thought. I don't know if you know Cheryl Bross. Do you? You know Cheryl? She's a Masters athlete. She's a Masters athlete. Been to games, I think, like 11 or 12 times. She's like been a bunch of times to the games, but she's always been a Masters. But she trains out of what is it? The Invictus program, the Masters program from them. So I don't know. I mean, that's also. I mean, they do pretty well. I mean, I use their program every once in a while.
There's quite a few programs out there right now. So I guess I just need to like really look into it. But like I said, I've just been super busy.
No, I get it. But I'm just saying, if you get to that point where you're qualified and you got to get ready for semifinals, that might be an option.
If I qualify through the Open to go to the quarterfinals, then I'm gonna have to increase my volume for sure.
Yeah, and then you just
because I don't. That would really suck to have to go to show up at the semifinal and be like, "Oh shoot."
That'd be awesome. I think it'd be awesome. I think it'd be like, hey, you show up at the semifinal, right? You show up at the semifinal. Everybody's there. And you're like, I didn't even freaking train. Not for real.
Nobody likes that person. Everybody wants to punch that person in the face. Okay, no one likes that person.
That's all right. It's hysterical. I would die. It'd be great. But
well, I mean, it's not like I hadn't trained. When you have like a base, it's easy to come back.
Well, that's it.
Easier.
That's it. You already, and that's kind of why I thought, why you didn't do as poorly as you thought you would do when you did that workout, because you already have that, your body already works that way. You just need to tune it up. It's kind of like having a sports car that's been sitting for a little while. Not really sitting, but just not taken out and really run like it should be. And now you're kind of, you got to just tune it back up again. That's all.
Yeah, we're just doing some fine tuning over here.
That's it. Just some fine tuning. You'll be fine. I still think don't do anything. Just do the CrossFit Open, show up at semifinals, don't even train, and just kind of go kick its ass and just be like, you know what? I didn't friggin' train this year. I'm done.
Yeah, right. Heaven forbid the games. I don't like that would be. Oh gosh, could you imagine? Not even like that. Just doesn't happen. That would be. That's how you get hurt and injured.
Well, like I said, I'm always I'm the eternal optimist. I try to think positive in all steps, and I mean, you're definitely, like I said, your credentials speak for themselves. You're a phenomenal athlete. I think even your kind of normal is probably better than most, or definitely better than most people's normal CrossFit Open score is going to be, in my opinion. But I don't want to put too much pressure on you. No pressure on you. We're just all counting on you.
No, I put pressure on myself. It's no big deal.
Nah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I hope to see you in the games. I mean, I told you that last time. I think I hope to see you back at the games. Because you just do a phenomenal job. You're a highly trained athlete. I look forward to watching you in the games and doing your thing. If not this year, I think definitely you'll probably be back there next year or the year after that, because I think this is going to put a little taste in your mouth to get back to that competitive stage. No matter how you do, I think you're either going to get super pissed off at yourself and train like a maniac, or I think you're going to do really well and train like a maniac. So one way or the other, I think you're going to get there.
I could see either of those scenarios happening.
Ready?
I don't like to lose, so I could totally see that happening. And then if I did do good, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I just have to train a little bit harder and I could get back there and it'd be fine. So, we'll see what happens.
I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. Keep in touch. Thank you so much for coming on again. I know I hear your son yelling for you in the background, so I know you got to go.
Hear that?
He wants to be on the show.
He's already yelling. He's like, Mom, I'm done in here. Come get me.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, to talk with me today. I definitely want to have you back on. And we'll next time you come on, it'll probably be right after the semifinals where you said, hey, I didn't even train and I qualified for the games. That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome. And awesome. I look forward to it. Stay in touch. All right. And
all right. Sounds good.
Be well, my friend.
Thank you. You too.